chops. Mornings with Mo.
Hey guys, it's Mo. It is the 20th of February, which means I think if I calculate this correctly, we only have 8 more days to go, which feels like I should have way more done on my New Year's resolutions, but I don't. And if you don't, that's fine. We got a whole rest of the year to pretend to hydrate or whatever. Welcome back, Wolfram. Good morning, Christine and 80s Music Man, Deviance Moore, Tammy, and Dennis. It's a little too cold for me. I was promised Tatooine, but I get to wear my winter fun 40s or 50s style shirt dress that I just got because it's cold, and I figured, I'm not going to be able to wear a ski inspired, vintage dress for a while. I'm also coming to the realization that I don't know what size I am anymore because the belt that they sent with this, I'm running out of loops to make it smaller, which is not a problem I've ever really had an issue with. Normally it's the opposite direction, so this is new territory for Mo. But we do have some sad news to start off the morning, which is that former Steelers Super Bowl champion Mike Collier, or Collier, is this a Quebec thing? I'm guessing it's Collier, but watch me say Collier and someone in the comments is going to say, it is Collier. Like I know sports ball. Y'all know I don't. But it is sad. He did pass away at 71. So it is not a happy story. Former Pittsburgh Steelers running back Mike Collier died in Maryland on Sunday, according to an online obituary. Collier, who won Super Bowl X with the Steelers in 1975, was 71 years old. Now, no cause of death has been announced. It used to seem like a dream, he told the Baltimore Sun in 2013, of his time in the pros. I realized that a lot of people would have loved to have been in my position. I thank God he gave me the opportunity to be there. Collier played at Morgan State University in Baltimore before he was selected by the defending champion Steelers in the 14th round of the 1975 NFL Draft as a running back, although he was more known as a kick returner? Is that a position? I never heard of a kick returner. Of course, I never paid attention to football, so all I asked for was a chance, Collier recalled in 2014. Being in the NFL and having a chance, that was the greatest thing. Luckily, there were 6 preseason games then. A couple of guys got hurt, nothing too serious, but it gave me the chance to play and prove myself. In this regular season game, Collier scored a 7-yard touchdown with a 37-0 score to rout the Chargers. It was one of the first 3 touchdowns during the season. Steelers repeated as AFC champions, setting up a classic showdown with the Cowboys in Super Bowl X. We had the best preparer in the game in Chuck Noll, Collier said in 2014. He was the best at making us ready to win a championship. He never got enough credit. You always hear people talking about Bill Belichick and other guys as the greatest coaches. You rarely hear about Noll, and that upsets me greatly. He was one of the greatest coaches ever in that time frame. In the fourth quarter, with the Steelers trailing 10-9, Collier returned a free kick 25 yards to set Pittsburgh up in Dallas territory. The Steelers kicked a go-ahead field goal, ensuring a drive en route with the championship win. Now, I just read a bunch of words, and I know that they mean something in English. What they mean to me is those are words. Okay, I will tell you guys, I never wear blush. So every time I look at myself, I'm just like, oh, clown makeup. But I realized that I'm pasty, so I was like, let's add some color. And I was like, oh, I'm a clown. So every time I look, because I'm used to red lipstick, but the blush is throwing me today. So if I ever look up and then just look confused and then look back down, it's because I don't notice myself in blush. Now, Collier did spend 3 seasons in the NFL as injuries did shorten his career. He played for the Bills in 1977 and 1979 before he retired from professional football. Following his playing days, he became a manager at Martin's grocery store in Hagerstown, Maryland, after being unable to find a teaching job in Baltimore. Collier was a popular figure, signing autographs and letting fans try on his Super Bowl ring. He enjoyed spending time with his family and watching football, his obituary read. He would also help raise money for local charities. I try to do everything I can to help people out, you know. I was blessed to be able to play in the NFL and win Super Bowls and be able to help people out, and that's what it's about, he told DC News Now. Collier is survived by his wife Leah, 3 children, and 6 grandchildren. In, well, this chick news, this chick is in the news again. Yes, this chick, the Polish Madeleine McCann. I could not believe my eyes. My peepers nearly exploded when I saw that this chick was back in the news again. Polish woman claiming to be Madeleine McCann is arrested after landing at the UK airport. A Polish woman who insists that she is Natalie Merchant, daggone it, Madeleine McCann, has been arrested as she arrived in the UK airport on Wednesday, the Post can confirm. Julia Waldent, who also goes by Julia Wendell or Julia Faustina, was handcuffed and taken into custody just moments after landing on British soil, Leicestershire police can confirm. Now, police at the Bristol airport approached the 23-year-old woman. She's 23? Oh. She just reads older to me. I don't know why. But they did approach the 23-year-old woman and arrest her on suspicion of stalking and harassing both Kate and Jerry McCann. Now, Wendelt had flown in from Wrocław in Poland and was due to meet a friend in the UK. The friend has not been named, but is in her 60s, and she was also arrested. Last night, 2 women were arrested at Bristol Airport as part of an ongoing investigation, a spokesperson for Leicester Police. Okay, UK people, is it Leicestershire or Leicester? Because y'all confuse me, so is it Leicester or Leicester or Leicestershire? Because, look, I just learned how to pronounce Worcestershire sauce, and I don't even think I do that right. But apparently they were arrested on stalking involving serious alarm or distress, and they both remain in custody. Inquiries are continuing. The arrest comes just days after Waldelt alleged that a new set of DNA results strongly support her theory that she is related. Thank you, Audio Coffee. So it's Lester. Y'all couldn't have just spelt it Lester. That's a trick. That's how you trick people who are not native UK. Oh, so they're, well, I should have realized if they're, I didn't know if Leicestershire was like the formal name, you know, like you have a Christian name and then maybe a nickname. So I didn't know. I will say America is just about as crazy too. So, you know, who are we going to talk to really? She initially garnered global attention in 2023 after she created the @AmIMadeleine McCann Instagram account where she questioned whether she was in fact the 3-year-old who vanished on a family vacation in Portugal in 2007. However, she was dealt a blow in April 2023 after a DNA test confirmed that she was not, in fact, the missing girl. The test instead found she was Polish, Lithuanian, and Romanian in heritage, meaning she could not have been Madeleine, and as a result, she apologized to both Kate and Jerry for the ordeal. Now, the Post reached out to the McCanns and Avon and the Somerset police for comment, but it doesn't sound like we heard back from them. Now, earlier this month, she returned to Instagram with a new account, Am I Julia Wendelt? In several posts, she showed new DNA results that claimed were submitted by a world expert. While she didn't name the expert, probably because he doesn't exist, she did insist that the DNA matched up to some of the toddler's key facial features. In a series of posts on the platform in which she referred to Kate and Jerry McCann as my parents, she claimed that her actual DNA test shows that she is part British and part Irish. I think you have very Romanian features. I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? I don't know how you can have English eyes but this sounds like 10 pounds of crazy in a 2-pound sack. It just does. You cannot deal with crazy. This is just going to explode in her face, figuratively, though not literally. Now, the McCanns, for their part, have refused to participate in any of this woman's shenanigans. Julia, this chick, has previously gone to great lengths to prove that she was the missing girl, including submitting DNA samples to 3 different forensic examination, sources. And 23andMe style genetic testing to establish her ancestry. On social media, she attempted to prove her case by pointing out physical similarities between herself and Madeline. She also appeared on Dr. Phil, where she denied her biological parents' claim that she stole her own birth certificate and childhood photos to hide her true identity. Well, crazy is gonna crazy, and you guys, I just saw this. We are going here. We are taking an unscheduled detour. What the hell did I just read? And it's terribly sad that a young man is dead, but do what now? A teen who died after injecting himself with butterfly remains spent 7 agonizing days in the hospital. I am very sorry for this child's parents and his suffering, but why did he inject himself with a butterfly? I mean, does anyone want questions answered about this? A Brazilian teen who died after injecting himself with butterfly remains reportedly suffered in agony for a week before his death. Now, which doctors say might have been caused by either an allergic reaction or an infection. Davi Nunes Moria, 14, suffered excruciating pain in the hospital in Vitória da Conquista for an entire week after admitting he had mixed a dead butterfly with water and injected the concoction into his leg, the Daily Mail reported. Now, authorities are investigating whether the teen, who had been throwing up and limping before going into the hospital, had participated in a sick social media challenge that caused his death. Don't inject yourself with dead butterflies. And I'm not trying to be flippant or blasé. I can imagine losing your child at the cusp of adulthood because he tried some dumb internet challenge. What the absolute crap? Don't do things people show you on TikTok. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have a TED Talk. Luis Fernando de Ribes, a specialist at the Hospital Santa Marcela, speculated that Davi may have suffered from an embolism, an infection, or allergic reaction, the outlet reported, citing Brazilian media. We don't know how he prepared the mixture or the size of the fragments he managed to inject into the body. There may have been air left inside, which could lead to an embolism. An embolism, or a blockage in a blood vessel, can lead to sudden death, according to specialists. The teen's mysterious death, linked to possible toxins in the butterfly mix that caused the body to shut down as he went into septic shock, is making headlines across Brazil. Local police are waiting for the full post-mortem results before declaring the cause of death. However, authorities have not ruled out the possibility that the boy was participating in an unusual social media craze that proved fatal, the report said. The autopsy results will help clarify the cause of death, the spokesperson for the civil police in Vitoria de Conquista, leading the investigation into Davi's death, said. The investigation is designed to clear up what's happened. Well, yes, you did define what an investigation is supposed to do. We're just wondering if the investigation is going to do what it purports to do in Brazil. Also, yeah, where did he get a needle to inject himself? Why did he inject himself with a... I feel like the times where I catch my boys doing something incredibly dangerous and or stupid, and I do that mom thing where I want them to try to explain to me what the actual heck they were thinking. And I should know by now they weren't thinking other than this looks really fun or this looks really cool or I wonder if I could hit this with my head. I mean, I know some countries are looking to ban children from the internet. Perhaps that's not a bad idea if this is what's going to be happening. Well, this doesn't look sus at all. At all, at all. Delta is just a kind and supportive company. As their spokesperson, they are not adding, giant sums of money with no strings attached for no reason. Delta is offering $30,000 after a plane flipped at Toronto Pearson Airport with no strings attached. Let's see. 'Cause I call shenanigans. I have flown on Delta. They won't give you anything for free. Flyers that went on or that were on the Delta plane that went belly up as it crash landed in Toronto Airport have been offered $30,000 with no strings attached. In the crash aftermath, the airline confirmed Wednesday. Passengers who accept the money, 6 times as much as passengers on the Miracle on the Hudson flight were immediately given, could still take Delta to court after the terrifying ordeal at Pearson National Airport, in which all 80 people on board survived Monday afternoon. The payout to the 76 passengers on Flight 4819 could reach over $2.2 million combined. 4 crew members were also aboard the flight from Minneapolis. Delta Care Team representatives are telling customers this gesture has no strings attached and does not affect rights, an airplane representative said in a statement to the Post. Have your lawyers look into this because I'm guessing there is some fine print there. Corporations do not do things out of the kindness of their hearts, people. Not when it affects their bottom line. So I would have a lawyer check out them no strings attachments, Now, authorities said that 21 people were hospitalized after the CRJ-900 jet skidded along the runway and flipped upside down. A cause for the topsy-turvy landing is under investigation. The offer from the airline is not unprecedented. When U.S. Airways Flight 1549 landed on the Hudson River in 2009, the company sent $5,000 checks to each passenger that helped compensate for luggage left behind in the murky waters, according to reports at the time. Oh my goodness, Super T, I had no idea. I'm so glad that everyone was okay. That's amazing. Now, the airline also paid for the medical bills of flyers who required hospitalization and reimbursement for their tickets, NBC News reported at the time. U.S. Airways executive Carrie Hester told flyers she was truly sorry in a letter, according to past New York Times reports. The plane, which took off from LaGuardia... Oh, we're not going into the Miracle on the Hudson. But... yeah, it does look like, and I would be really, looking at the fine print on that. Far be it from me to suspect that a giant corporation may not have your best interests in mind, but we might want to, have a legal person take a look at those paperworks. Just because they say no strings doesn't mean they don't have, fine print. Well, Alabama Police Department should be immediately abolished over rampant culture of corruption, says a grand jury. So I don't know how we're going to do that, but let's see if the article gives us any idea as to what we should put in replacement of the police department. I don't want a corrupt police department, but I'm just wondering what you're going to do to replace it and how you're going to stop that replacement from becoming corrupt. An Alabama grand jury wants to immediately abolish a local police department when an investigation found a, quote, rampant culture of corruption within its ranks following the death of one of its dispatchers. 18 grand jurors found the Hainesville Police Department to be a particular and ongoing threat to public safety, Coleman County District Attorney Champ Crocker said during a press conference Wednesday. There is a rampant culture of corruption in Haysville Police Department, which has recently operated more as a criminal enterprise than a law enforcement agency, Crocker said. Now, the jurors said that they have zero confidence in the department's ability to operate. That includes the police chief, Jason Marlin, officers Cody Allen Kelso, Drew Shelnut, Jason Wilbanks, and Reserve Officer Eric Michael Kelso. His wife, Donna Kelso, were all arrested and charged following an investigation into the department. Now, I found a lot of Kelsos. That seems to be a family thing. Now, the investigation, which was launched after dispatcher Christopher Michael Willingham, 49, died on August 23, 2024, from a toxic drug combination at work. Willingham's death was determined to be the direct result of Haysville Police Department's negligence, lack of procedure, general incompetence, and disregard for life, Crocker said. Nothing was secure in the evidence room, and when Mr. Willingham was discovered, there was evidence in his office, Crocker said. Now, Crocker revealed photos of a massive hole in the wall leading to the evidence room and said that a broom was repeatedly used to keep the door opened. Criminal evidence must be secured in order to have that evidence for prosecution and to ensure due process, he said. This evidence room was anything but secure. The state medical examiner's autopsy report showed that the dispatcher had fentanyl, gabapentin, diazepam, and amphetamine, carisoprodol, and methocarbamol in his system when he died. Did he just take, like, all the drugs? Was he just like, I'll take you, 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 I'll take you? And I'm not laughing. A man lost his life, but giblets, like, did he just... I'm just imagining, like, handfuls of candy and cookies and just... Like a lot of other people, Willingham was given access to the evidence room, and he may have been exposed to fentanyl because the deadly drug was not kept in a secure place, the DA said. Look, I'm not thinking that, oh my God, that he really just had a hole and he was just sticking his arm in like, look, we're going to take whatever. Oh my Lord, never mind. I am with the grand jury. I would do a better job. And I am a professional silly person, semi-professional silly person. Now, the officers have not been charged with the death of the dispatcher. The grand jury said that the department failed to account for, preserve, and maintain evidence, and in doing so has failed crime victims and the public at large, making the evidence unusable. Crocker revealed that Marlin, who was appointed as chief in March, is charged with 2 counts of failure to report ethics crimes and tampering with physical evidence. Officers Cody Allen Kelso and Wilbanks were charged with computer tampering, tampering with physical evidence, conspiracy to commit a controlled substance crime, and using official position for personal gain. Shelnut was charged with tampering with physical evidence. Eric and Donna Kelso were charged with unlawful distribution of a controlled substance and conspiracy to unlawfully distribute a controlled substance, Crocker said. Now, they all surrendered to the Coleman County Jail on Wednesday and have been released on bond. Well, So this would be Mr. Coleman. Holy God. All 9 of the police officers are in the jail. Well, they're on bond now. So this is our first potential felon. This is Coleman County Sheriff's Department. Good Lord. Following the arrest, this is the police chief, Jason Marlin. The Coleman County Sheriff's Office will handle law enforcement matters for the city, which has a population of around 3,000. Quote, "This is a sad day for law enforcement and at the same time a good day for the rule of law," Crocker said. Hayesville Mayor Jim Sawyer said he and the City Council will carefully consider all recommendations and act swiftly and decisively to address the problem within the police department, and will pursue and implement the necessary corrective actions openly and aggressively. "We deeply regret the negative impact this situation has had on our community and the hardworking employees of our city. It is unfortunate that the actions of a few have tarnished our city's good name." Well, I mean, I don't know how much I trust you, Mr. Mayor, because don't the mayors work really close with the police stations? I'm going to need you to give me your receipts, too. Well, now, this was not my fault. Just because it happened in Indiana, I did not have any involvement in anything. Although I feel like I might have run into him at a Walmart. She didn't give an ish. A husband upset that wife didn't appreciate Paris-themed Valentine's Day dinner perforated her 40 times and sent a picture of her body to her boyfriend, captioning it, "Your fault," the police say. Well, this looks like a case that we will be covering in the fairly near future, so yeah. And it's in my neck of the woods. I might be able to go if they have, okay chairs. A 34-year-old man in Indiana was arrested last week for allegedly unaliving his wife after being disappointed with her reaction to his Valentine's Day gestures, stabbing her 40 times with a, quote, "big-ass kitchen knife," end quote. Well, I guess if you're going to confess, always use a curse word. Sending a photo of her body to a man with whom he believed she was having an affair. Taylor Meyer was taken into custody on Friday and charged with the slaying of 36-year-old Deborah Meyer, records reviewed by Law and Crime show. Now, according to a probable cause affidavit, officers with the Jefferson Police Department in the late night hours of February 14th responded to the couple's home on Westwood Drive after receiving a call from someone who said that Meyer's wife was in danger. The caller told the emergency dispatcher that he'd received a call from Deborah Meyer's phone and could hear her calling for help. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders knocked several times but received no response. The caller had driven to the Meyer house and spoke to the police, which is when he received a photo message from Deborah Meyer's phone showing her body on the floor. Police then breached the door and encountered an aggressive Taylor Meyer. Officers had to use control techniques. This dude got tackled and tased, is what they're trying to tell you, to take Meyer into custody. Heartbreakingly, also inside the home, police located along with Deborah's body, their 3 young children under the age of 5. You absolute idiot. Yeah, if your wife is cheating, get a divorce. But now you've cost these children both their parents. Because you is all the guilty. Like, I don't know how you're going to get out of this, sir, but we don't really take kindly to, like, insanity defenses when it's just plain assholery in Indiana. Also, universe, I have already done my jury duty, so please don't make the state send me a jury duty, because I've already done it for county, but watch the state try to get me going for this one too. In an interview with detectives, Meyer allegedly confessed to red rumming his wife, explaining that their marriage had been strained since he saw a photo of her holding hands with another man in January, referring to the other man as her co-worker. Now, Meyer said he tried to pull out all the stops on Valentine's Day, telling police it was bringing Paris to you. You're in Indiana. Like, the closest thing we have to Paris is French fries and champagne. If you're a Futurama, fan, you get that one. I live in Indiana, and I can tell you it reminds me nothing of Paris, France. So, can confirm that Indiana is nothing like Paris, France. So he had the entire themed evening for which he had kids draw pictures of the Eiffel Tower as decoration. It was the hardest I've ever tried, he allegedly said during the interview. She just didn't give an ish. At some point after dinner, Meyer said that he and his wife fought and she left the house right when her boyfriend got off of work, he alleged. He was upset about being home again with the kids. For the last 2 months, I've been staying at home with the kids every Saturday night while she goes and F's whoever and lies to my face about it. Or she's just going out and being a mom. Now, every Saturday night for the last 2 months may be excessive. But yeah, this is going to be a fun trial because he sounds like an absolute douche. And there is nothing the Petty Express likes more than an absolute douche. He said she was gone for approximately 20 minutes. Well, that was an incredibly unsatisfying quickie then. I mean, she was probably clearing her head because you were being a massive butt monkey. While his wife was in the bathroom, Meyer tried to read her text messages on her smartwatch. And when he came back out, he demanded her cell phone. She refused, and a physical confrontation ensued. He stated that during the argument, she punched him in the face and he grabbed her and took her cell phone and told her, "I'm stronger than you," the affidavit states. Meyer told me during the initial interview at the hospital that it was all wrestling and, laying hands, and then I started to give her a neck hug, involuntary. She hit me with a water bottle. I hope it was one of them steel ones. And I, returned with a wine bottle. Then I got a knife. Now, according to Meyer, his wife kept asking him, "What are you doing? What are you going to try to do? Red rum me? Are you going to hurt me and leave our kids with no parents?" Well, yes, that's exactly what he's going to do because his, evolution into a thinking, human stopped at Neanderthal. Now, Meyer said that he then, laid hands on his wife, brought her to the ground, went through her phone, placed a call to her boyfriend, told him, "It's your effing fault. You want to ruin my marriage and tear my family apart," while his wife was screaming and he was probably doing stuff to her in the background. Just so that man could hear a woman screaming and know it was his fault. What a douche. Meyer went back to, throttling his wife and allegedly, beamed her in the head so many times she was unconscious. Now, he claimed that he didn't know if she was red rummed or not, so he got a big-ass kitchen knife, a long one, and that's a quote, and used it to do what you do with a knife with a person. I mean, if you're an unaliver, not if you're like a regular person. The medical examiner determined that Deborah Meyer had been stabbed 40 times. Meyer is currently being held at the Clark County Detention Center without bond. He pled not guilty. Well, don't drop the soap, honey. We'll see you real long time. Now, he is scheduled to appear in court on March 18th, so I will see if any of the local channels are covering that, because we might be able... This is probably going to be a big case. Again, this has everything that court TV and law and crime tend to look into when they are going to cover a case. You have a possible affair, you have SMEX, you have a husband who is a douche. You have a lot going on here. So I do think that this is going to be a case that will probably be one of the bigger cases coming up. And it sucks. And the wife said it correctly, are you going to leave our kids without parents? And he continued to choose to do that. So I hope he goes all the way away. Now, in sad news for those of us who loved Phineas and Ferb and therefore Bowling for Soup, I do hope that guitarist Chris Burney is okay, as he did reveal that he has lost two toes amid a health battle a month after retiring from the band. Now, okay, well, I heard that you lost two toes. I don't want to show it though. Former Bowling for Soup guitarist Chris Burney revealed that he had two of his toes amputated 1 month after he retired from the pop punk band over medical developments. Burney, who co-founded the Texas-based band in 1994, snapped a photo of his foot, which was missing his big toe and index toe. "Well, I'm free nubbin, butt rubbin' son of a gun," Bernie 55 quipped on Instagram with a caption on Wednesday. Last month, the band announced that the rocker would be leaving the band due to medical challenges and exhaustion from 3 decades on the road. "We're bummed not to have Chris by our side, but absolutely support his decision," the band wrote in a statement January. While Bernie may have left the group, lead vocalist Jared Reddick and drummer Gary Weissman, bassist and back vocalist Rob Felchetti reassured fans that Bowling for Soup's future remains bright. "The three of us will carry on with Chris's blessing and continue to build the legacy of this band we all love so much. We will not be replacing Chris or touring with a touring guitarist. You can't replace a legend. We're brothers when we started this journey, and brothers we will remain." It is unclear if his toes were removed due to the health issue. Bernie has not revealed what that health condition is. Okay, well, I don't think we have to be medical detectivators, okay? As a person who has struggled with my fluffiness all my life, there is only one condition which combines fluffiness with toe loss. And I hope he makes better choices so that he can have an active, healthy life. He's probably not meant to be a skinny mini guy, and that's okay. But if he made better health choices, he could have a happy and healthy, rest of his life. Again, he's probably more built to be like, this kind of guy size. Or even if he got to this kind of guy's size, he might not have so much issues. And I say this as someone who has dealt with, sugar addiction and all of that stuff. So I'm not trying to be mean about it, but it's not like a daggone mystery as to what he's dealing with. In an interview with Kerrang last month, the Bowling for Soup band said that, it wouldn't be where we were without Bernie, and he started this band 30 years ago, almost 31 at this point, and he was kind of like the face of the band, the lead singer said. "I can't say enough, we wouldn't be us or where we are without him, and we're very grateful for all the time he put in. The guy retires a legend, and that's something to be said about that." Now, Bowling for Soup revealed his retirement as they geared up for a 20th anniversary tour, A Hangover You Don't Deserve, which kicked off in the UK on February 5th. Fans of the guitarist showered Bernie with support on Wednesday, wishing him the best and telling him that his presence will be missed on stage. "You was well missed at the gig in Nottingham last week." Oh, wow. The grammar that exists in texting from the UK. Holy God. Because I was reading that and I was so stilted on that because I was like, is that a thought that makes sense? But then it came to me. "Hope you're well. Thank you for all you've done," wrote another. "And I'm so sorry, dude. You'll be in my prayers," commented yet another person. Bernie's health issues started becoming apparent to fans when he took a hiatus from the band to recover from a leg injury and missed the group's performance at Download Festival in 2024, according to Blunt Mag. Bowling for Soup was formed in Wichita Falls, Texas in 1994 by Reddick Burney, Lance Morrill, and Eric Chandler, with Reddick now the only founding member left in the group after Morrill left the band in 1994 and Chandler in 2018. The band's fan favorite hits such as Girl All the Bad Guys Want, 1985, High School Never Ends have been staple songs in the pop genre over the years. Bowling for Soup's last album, Pop Drunk Snot Bread, dropped in 2022. I don't think I'm going to try the snot bread. I do hope he makes small choices, and they can be really small choices. If every week you just add another good small choice, it really does snowball, and you don't feel like, because we've all tried it. We've all tried it. You know, it's around New Year's time, and you're like, I am going to be carnivore, keto, fantastic. And then we get to about week 2, and you wake up surrounded by wrappers of bagels and carbohydrates just all around you. You wake up with a graham cracker in your bra. You don't know what happened, but you're pretty sure you're no longer keto. So, small choices. Small choices. And Greedy Bloke, that is a good point. I forget how many different, beyond native English, cultures are represented in the UK now. I think sometimes I forget that. Well, I don't know if this is legal-ish. A Mississippi judge ordered a newspaper to remove an editorial. Press advocates are outraged. Yeah, I mean, it does sound like I need to figure out what the editorial is about. A Mississippi judge ordered a newspaper to remove an editorial criticizing the mayor and city leaders after the official sued, sparking complaints from press advocates that it violates the First Amendment. Chancery Judge Crystal Wise Martin issued the restraining order against the Clarkdale Register on Tuesday in connection with a February 8th editorial titled Secrecy, Deception, Erode Public Trust. The piece criticized the city for not sending the newspaper notice about the meeting the city council held regarding a proposed tax on alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco. I think it's dangerous that a judge would institute a temporary restraining order without a hearing, said Wyatt Emmerich, president of the paper's parent company, Emmerich Newspapers. We will fight it and see where it goes. The city's lawsuit called the editorial libelous and said it had chilled and hindered the city's effort to lobby for the tax with the state legislature. Now, the editorial was no longer available on the newspaper's website by Wednesday afternoon. Martin scheduled a February 27th hearing in the case. Mayor Chuck Espy said the editorial unfairly implied that the city had broken the law with its meeting and cited another portion that questioned, have commissioners or the mayor gotten kickbacks from the community? We're all for the press doing their job. We're all for as much transparency as possible. Just tell the truth. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Now, Clarksdale is about 70 miles or 115 kilometers south of Memphis. The order drew complaints from press advocates in Mississippi and nationwide. It's rather astounding as an order. We feel it's egregious and chilling, said Lane Bruce, executive director for Mississippi Press Organization. It clearly runs afoul of the First Amendment, and we fully support the press register's right to report and offer commentary on the business of Clarkdale's city's government. Well, so this was an editorial, and if you read an editorial, then you are forewarned when it's in the editorial section that you are getting someone's personal opinion. Now, if you're getting someone's personal opinion, I don't understand why you would need to take this down, because I have a personal opinion about a lot of things. I mean, this is basically me editorializing the news. I add my own commentary in here. So you don't go to the editorial section to get straight fact. I think it just doesn't seem to make sense why the editorial would have to be taken down because people know editorials are opinions. They're arguments. They're like closing statements where you take the facts and you try to argue your case. All right, let's see here. Lisa Zierchman, Vice President of Legal Programming at Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, said the order constitutes censorship and is unquestionably a serious First Amendment violation. There have been other attempts to silence news outlets in the recent years. In 2023, a Kansas police department raided a newspaper office and the home of its owner and publisher after claiming the paper and a reporter potentially committed identity theft and other computer crimes in obtaining and verifying information about a local business owner's driving record. The raid was later investigated, and the former police chief who led it was charged last year with obstruction of justice. So this does seem like an overstep. This seems like, they wrote something mean about me. And I don't really care. Well, now I'm not going to tell you, but telling a police officer when you're in the interrogation room that you're not my judge, actually, she kind of has that right. For the first time, a suspect has it right that the cops will not charge you with anything. That's going to be the DA's office, and that the cop is also not a judge. She might be the smartest convict we've ever met. You're not my judge. Suspect in dating app threesome murder scene argues with her investigator. In an emotional interrogation, a murder suspect snapped back at an investigator who confronted her with the surviving victim's horrifying story of bread rum and SA. Quote, "You're not my judge," Heidi Kathleen Carter, 39, angrily said in footage from October 20th, 2021. But jurors did convict her of murder, aiding and including or causing forcible SA criminal confinement while armed with a deadly weapon. It's another Indiana case. We are just churning them out like high fructose corn syrup this morning. Cops in Evansville, Indiana said that Carter met a woman on a dating site and learned both her and the woman's boyfriend, Tim Ivey, age 50, to a home. Their Carter's then boyfriend, Kerry Hammond, walked in on the three having consensual smicks. All three of them. Just all the three of them. And now, furious, he laid hands on Ivy, throttled him to death. So the man he throttled to death. He then SA'd the female victim. Another woman who had been hired to clean the home found Ivy's body, and the badly laid hands on survivor, the latter of whom had been restrained with duct tape. Now, law enforcement later unalived Hammond. Now, police investigator told authorities Carter that authorities unalived Hammond because he had an object that looked like a gun and would not put it down. Carter seemed deeply distressed throughout the entire video, even sitting on the floor while her sweater was halfway off her body. The investigator said he believed the survivor's story, that Carter helped lay hands on her and helped tie them up, threatened them at force multiplier point, and told them that people she knew could dispose of their bodies. I believed her when she tells me that you had a much bigger part in all of this than you told me, he says. Now, Carter denied any wrongdoing in the interrogation, and she maintained a defiant tone in her sentencing, calling herself a victim. Vanderburgh County Circuit Court Judge David Kindly noted her, quote, lack of concern that a human life was lost, according to the Evansville Courier and Press. Carter is now serving a 65-year prison sentence. So, good that we got her, because she seems to have not so much conscience, and we're good. Now, we just have all of the crazy going on here. Well, who loves the song that never ends? It is it is Lamb Chop, and Lamb Chop pups in New York are going bonkers for Lamb Chop. I mean, she is super cute and she has her glamorous eyebrows or eyelashes. Lamb Chop is suddenly the hottest viral dog toy, and New York City pet shop owners are struggling to keep up. King of the Lammies. She is a pop culture icon. Lamb Chop, the plush white sheep with red hooves and jet black lashes, who became a bona fide American sweetheart more than 6 decades ago on a popular TV show and other shows, is suddenly the bark of the town. Now, the stuffed animal is the hottest dog toy in America, with some four-legged collectors even hoarding hundreds of the affordable $6.99 plushie. Enthusiasts scramble to get their hands on limited edition drops lest they sell out in a matter of days or weeks. Even stockpiles of the classic lamb chop, modeled after the on-screen sock puppet popular in the late 20th century, even those are scarce at New York City, pet shops. Martin Lugo, grooming department manager at Beastly Feast in Manhattan's meatpacking district, has never seen a craze quite like it in his 12 years in the pet business. Lamb Chop, he told the Post, is the only toy that sells out like this. Anytime we've got it in a couple weeks, it's gone, he said, adding that they get sporadic stock and distributors are unable to keep up with the demand of the popular seller. No, this is Matt. This dog is looking at you like, are you sober when you put me in this? I am not gonna lie. If I had one, I'd put Dingus in it. Not looking this up on Amazon as soon as we go offline to see if I can get Dingus in it. But not saying I'm not looking. We sell out of lamb chop pretty much every week, Jeff Alveus, a manager at Vinny's Pet Shop in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, said, adding that at the time speaking, we're down to our last lamb chop. He told the Post that the sudden hot commodity has always been a staple, but that lately it seems like every pet parent who visits the store has to have one. At Pet Central in Chelsea, the toy flies off the shelf. I mean, I get it. Lamb chop's cool, but do your pets really need 87 stuffies? Question mark? First put on the market 15 years ago, the dog toy modeled after the sock puppet who became a national celebrity thanks to Sherry Lewis and appeared on shows between 1960 and 1999. It comes in various sizes and colors. But why the frenzy all these years later? Well, it's impossible to know exactly why Fido favors the fuzzy plaything. The team at the Multipet International, which currently licenses the rights to lamb chop in order to produce the wildly popular toy, has a theory. We like to think that many dogs look at lamb chop not as a toy, but almost like their own pet. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. Multipet president Mark Hirschberg told the Post, I don't foresee the trend dying down. New Yorker Barry Eltsberg, proud momager of Mango, the Cavapuchon. Sorry, I have a little touch of Cavachupan on. It just sounds like Grey Poupon to me, not gonna lie, so I'm like, fancy. We always have lamb chop on hand, she admitted to the Post. Her beloved 2-year-old can't get enough of the toy, even when he's dressed out as the lovable stuffed animal for Halloween, and has destroyed enough of them in his short lifespan that she keeps a few on reserve. On social media, pet parents are boast of their puppies' colossal collections, the phenomenon was inspired by a catchy tune and prompted by the expansion of the lamb chop empire. Now enthusiasts can collect lamb chop themed food bowls, dog beds, collar tags, pet garb, and limited edition characters. It's a sock puppet. What is limited edition? Oh, so okay. Wow. Well, you know, I can't say much. I buy Sailor Moon stuff. I am not going to lie. If you want to buy your puppy like 9 million lamb chops, you have at it. Okay, I will say that was super cute. If I caught Fry doing that, I would buy everything. Lamb chop. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, who would do this? And then the next picture, I'm like, oh my God, shut up and take my money. Each of the toys has a home in one of his toy baskets, so there you go. I don't know if it's hilarious or wrong that Lamb Chop appears to be humping this handy capable dog or riding in its wheelchair, both of which seems like it's riding itch in the, wheelchair, or Lamb Chop is doing some unmentionable things on the sidewalk with this handy capable dog. I mean, okay, that's the parents having way too much money. Again, if you'd like to support my Sailor Moon addiction instead of buying 9 gajillion lamb chops, please send all checks to Mo for Mo's for-profit charity, Mo's House. So there you go. Lamb chop is what the dogs want. They do. And I'm not sure that I can take a sexy Sherry Lewis with lamb chop, so please, Hollywood, do not remake that. Well, the rumors were true, just not in New York, apparently. An abundance of alligators have been found in the Florida sewer system, like something out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Florida's sewer systems have been playing host to alligators. A study conducted by the University of Florida found that stormwater sewer systems beneath Gainesville contained a total of 35 different animal species, from armadillos, frogs, raccoons, and yes, alligators. The study exhibits a shift toward human-modified environments as urbanization and development progresses. Alan Ivory, PhD, student at University of Florida, spearheaded the study. While the movement of rats throughout the underground systems has been well studied, the patterns of other animals who use the tunnels as a pathway to navigate an urban landscape has been much less researched. It's like something out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ivory told the New York Times. The abundance of animals down there was surprising. Great, we're getting alligators and everyone, hooked on all the food that we put down the disposal, so now they're going to want to hunt us more. Wonderful. You've given them a taste for human food. Now we're going to, see them at line in the Chick-fil-A and everything. The team carried out the study by using 39 motion-activated trail cameras attached to manhole covers on 33 stormwater drains. Roughly 2 months later, the cameras were collected, and data, though some fell through, and into the water or got taken by raccoons. The American alligator, also known as, look, I am not saying this name, alligator Mississippi penis. I kid you not. That is why they would put a Latin name in here so I could but look, Mississippianus. Look, it just, no. Was among several different types of reptiles found in the storm sewage systems and was documented across the greatest number of sites. The data in the study suggests that many of the animals use storm sewage systems to avoid crossing busy roads or other highly trafficked areas, while others, mainly small animals, have found the sewers, you know, they're found after being swept in there by rainwater. Of the 5 sites, 4 of the sites where alligators were observed were simple culverts, and for this reasons, most alligator observations were of animals swimming from one pond to another, 35 of the 50 observations, thereby avoiding crossing busy roads. So, there you go. They just didn't want to get a jaywalking ticket. They're not bad. They're trying to not be jaywalking. Well, this cat has free rides for life. An adventurous cat gets free train trips for life after hopping on a 17-mile journey without its owner. Just like, hey, I'm chilling. That would be Dingus. He'd end up in Cornwall. He'd be like, oh, I'm going out to get fish and chips. I'll be back later. An adventurous cat who traveled over 15 miles by train on a solo trip has now been given her own rail card for a lifetime of free journeys. 2-year-old Tilly made headlines after managing to travel all the way from Weybridge in Surrey to London Waterloo Station via the train. Her owner, Michael Hardy, 52, then had to drive across the capital to collect her and bring her back home. And she looks very, very repentant. She's like, yes, that's me. Yes, I did it. You're welcome. Now, Southwestern Railway, who run the route on which Tilly traveled, made her very own smart card for future adventures on their trains. This adorable pass supposedly unlocks her unlimited free travel across their network for the rest of her natural life. A spokesperson for Southwestern Railway said, in case our whiskered wanderer is feline adventurous again, we thought we should issue Tilly with her own cat-to-go smart card. With free travel across our network for all of her 9 lives, she just has to remember to tap in. Owner Michael will be meeting with staff at Weybridge Station on Wednesday to collect a physical copy of the rail card on which Tilly's name will be. On the cat's Facebook page, which has now gained almost 6,000 followers, he responded, "That made my day. Southwest Rail may have made Tilly her own tray card so she will no longer have to pay the fare." So the cat is like, yes, give me my free passes. I am unrepentant, and now I am the local mascot. Adore me. In interesting news, it looks like there might be a way to help a nearly extinct rhino with, well, let's say, having some babies. We will save them, the quest to rescue nearly extinct rhino. 2 rhinos munch serenely on grass as the sun rises. Oh, this is a long story one, isn't it? Okay, we're not going to do the long story one. I'm going to try to make those into their own stories. So we are going with the Denver Zoo has announced the birth of a red-necked wallaby. Now, I do need to ask, will this wallaby come with its own Pabst Blue Ribbon and Oaky Moss, real camo? Because I feel like if it's a red-necked wallaby, I don't know what to send. Like, do I send a Pabst? Do I send, Bass Angler Pro, just assortment? Like, what do you send? I don't know. What do you send a red-necked wallaby? The Denver Zoo announced the birth of a red-necked wallaby, the first baby to be born in the facility's new Down Under habitat. You have your first baby born in the Down Under habitat. Life can't be this funny unless you skipped it. Did no one find this absolutely hilarious? Or was it just me? Now, the zoo said the baby is estimated to have been born September 1st, 2024, to red-necked wallabies, Adelaide, and cricket, and was only recently seen peeking out from its mother's pouch. The pouch is a marvelous marsupial adaptation that allows joeys to grow from the size of a jelly bean into a fully developed wallaby while staying safe and cozy with mom. Our animal care specialists are keeping a close eye on mom and baby and are happy to report that they're both doing well, the post said. They've spotted the joey peeking out more frequently, a sign that it's becoming curious about the world outside the patch. The joey is expected to fully emerge from from the pouch in the coming months. So he's in the down under exhibit and he's coming out of the pouch. I'm done. I don't know why that's so incredibly funny for me now, but there you go. And just because we needed it, 11 donkeys were just found wandering loose in California. So did anyone say, hey, that's a lot of ass? Because that's what I would have been doing. I would have been using the word ass all the time, just because it's, in context, it's the correct word that you can use. So I would just be assing it up everywhere if I had this story. Authorities in California rounded up 11 donkeys found running loose in San Diego County industrial parks. Now, I'm not an animalologist, but I don't think donkeys grow wild in industrial parks. The San Diego County Sheriff's Office said the donkeys were reported and, deputies called for assistance from the San Diego Humane Society. Upon arrival, our humane officers worked alongside the sheriff's deputies to safely corral the donkeys into a parking lot of a vacant building where they were later reunited with their owners, the San Diego Humane Society said in a statement. We're relieved to see that these sweet donkeys are now back where they belong. How'd they get loose? Who leaves their donkeys just in a car park? I mean, I don't quite get this. Oh no, they did not. Hey, China, we can send you snow. We have supply and you have demand. A Chinese snow village apologizes for using fake snow. Now, let's see if I can play this so we can see the fake snow. And if local, Chinese media will copyright strike me. That's sand. They're using sand. That's what I use to stuff pillows. Oh, good Lord. A snow village attraction in China temporarily shut down and apologized for visitors seeing fake snow made out of cotton and soapy water. The Chengdu Snow Village in Sichuan province issued an apology on social media after facing online criticism from visitors who arrived to find snow was an unconvincing mixture of cotton and soapy water. Okay. The attraction's operators said that the recent unusually warm weather forced them to use fake snow. It did not achieve the result we had anticipated. Yeah, because that's inner pillow fluffing. I don't know. So we are sorry for not being able to exhibit a real snow scene and making visitors change their travel plans. Celestial Force, I can imagine any Minnesotan calling and saying, we have sand, we will FedEx it to you. Why do you think I'm actually drinking warm caffeine? Because I am freezing. It is cold out here. I guess it is so cold out that we got snow and they couldn't put any salt down, so they're putting sand on top of it. and people are confused. But there you go, you guys. That is Mornings with Mo this morning. Now, I do have you auto redirected at 10 a.m. I will be making a hopefully untangling of this new case that we are looking at, the secret lover trial. I have never had to make a pre-trial murder board. This is a first, but we are going to try to I've got my little, mini whiteboard of truth. So let's hope that this goes, because I'm trying to find dry erase markers. I only have my wet erase markers right now, so I'm trying to find one bold dry erase marker right now. But we will do this however we do this, with whatever markers. I will be trying to break down this new secret lover love quadrangle case so that everyone can understand it. And then this afternoon, we have a shenanigans stream, and we might have a guest that knows all about shenanigans. But if we don't, we have me, and I know about shenanigans. So I will see you later on today, along with some news stories coming out. Hope that you have a wonderful day and you stay warm and toasty. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a can of bitch fire, because kindness doesn't equal doormat. Bye, you guys.